You know, people thought I was joking when I said there wasn't going to be a vlog last week. What was it, April 1st or something? What? It was? Oh, I forgot. Oh well. Well, hey everybody, I have a question for you. How would you like a double dose of content this morning? Well, think about it as I have the crew roll the title sequence. Hey, happy Saturday. I'm back just like I said I'd be back. Now, because I didn't do a video last week, I am changing things up just a little, and I'm doing a bit of an update just before we get into the author interview for this week. But before I get into any of that material, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon for notifications on new videos. You can select all videos, or you can set those notifications according to your preferences. So I think today is the perfect day for doing updates considering the fact that it's April 11th. You know, 411. It's all about giving you guys the information. Okay, I'll stop with the terrible jokes. Anyway, I want to give you guys a heads up on what I've been working on, especially over the course of the shelter-in-place order that is now officially statewide throughout California. As of the recording of this video, I am in the process of editing Book 5, Chapter 10. Now, once I finish this chapter, I will have edited 1/3 of Book 5. Keep in mind, though, that this is still the first round of edits, and once I hit the very last chapter of the book, I go straight back to the beginning, and I can start all over with the next round of edits. So, yay! I still have the podcast going on, and all of the episodes up through the end of the season are already posted and ready to drop on their air date. I'm also dabbling in another podcast idea with a friend of mine where we are going to be talking about movies and stuff like that. We're both big cinephiles. But I'll give more information on that once we get closer. Otherwise, I'm biding my time with the shelter in place by attending online classes for a teaching credential, and I have been working with my brother and dad on the garden that I mentioned last month. The garden has been coming along pretty well. We have the skeleton for the greenhouse set up, but the rain has made it difficult to keep working on it consistently. So this month for Author Awareness, I'm interviewing Kristen Morgen, a contemporary romance author from Connecticut. Now, just a little bit about her before we get into it. Kristen is a licensed architect with her own firm when she isn't busy writing tales of romance. So this is going to be a really fun interview for me because I get to speak with somebody who is just as creative with their writing as much as they are with their regular day job. So I won't say anything more. Let's do the interview. Hi, Kristen. Thanks for joining me. Tell me about your work. What do you write?
Hi, Garrett. Thanks so much for having me. As you know, my name is Kristen Morgen, and I'm a contemporary romance author. I live in Connecticut, and I'm actually educated and trained as a licensed architect, and I own my own architectural firm. I've had a strong passion for writing for most of my life, and being a romance author is now a second career for me. That began in 2009 when I started writing my debut novel, Behind the Glass. Behind the Glass is basically a culmination of a lot of themes that have always intrigued me as a reader. Like many people, I've always been fascinated with the idea of love at first sight. Is it real? Can it happen in real life? And if it does, do people really live happily ever after? It was definitely the main theme for the story, but as a lover of romance novels, that would have been way too easy. So, what if two people met, fell in love, and were without a doubt meant to be with each other, but had the odds constantly stacked against them? If it truly is love at first sight, then in the end it has to be a love worth fighting for. I love stories that torture you a little bit and make you really root for the main characters throughout the course of the story. Characters with depth and complexity. They've always appealed to me as a reader, and I wanted to bring that complexity to this story as a writer. Life is not simple, and neither is love. And as Michael and Rebecca's story evolves, it becomes more about the unbreakable connection between two people and about taking chances together no matter what the odds.
So how did you get into writing?
Well, for me, writing has always been something I enjoy doing. I've been drawn to it for as long as I can remember. The first time I truly realized how much I loved the act of writing was in high school. I was the kid who got excited when I saw essay questions on the test rather than multiple choice questions, and most of my friends thought I was crazy. I absolutely loved and excelled in any English class I took throughout college, and I found myself spending large amounts of time on writing assignments. My father is also a writer, and he has been my writing coach my whole life. He always pushed me to be better, and he could be quite tough on me at times, which is something I'm still thankful for. Although I pursued architecture throughout my life, I've always longed to write. So one day, I simply sat down and started writing behind the glass. When I sat down to write the book, I did it for me. I set out to write the book that I wanted to read, and I honestly didn't think beyond that. I figured if someone else likes my book, wonderful. If not, I was simply fulfilled by writing it and accomplishing that personal goal. But I admit, hearing someone tell me how they connected with my book or how it helped them in their life somehow, or that my book is now their favorite book, it blows me away. It's something I never expected, and the feeling it gives me is indescribable.
What are some of your inspirations as a writer? Do you draw from film, music, nature, art, etc.?
I get inspiration from so many different places, but a lot of my characters are in some way at least based on elements of different people I've known throughout my life. I will also sometimes read a character in a book or connect with one in a movie, and it will give me ideas for characters in my own books. Sometimes the story also dictates the type of character that is needed for the storyline, so it really depends. I really enjoy getting into the heads of so many characters and perspectives. I may have a scene or two in my book that comes from something in real life, but for the most part, I have a very active imagination, and I'm always coming up with new ideas. The characters are always galvanized in my mind before I start writing the book, and I know them inside and out. The settings are also clear in my mind, it's just a matter of describing them in a way that flows with the story.
What has been the hardest part or biggest challenge in the creation of your work?
My least favorite part has always been deleting chunks of the book that I spent hours on, only to realize the story is actually better without it. It's heartbreaking, but at the end of the day, the book is better for it, and it's a learning experience each time. You only get better at writing by writing. I'm also my own worst critic, and I tend to be very hard on myself and my own writing. I'm constantly editing and striving to make it better. There have been so many late nights writing until 2 a.m., working on a difficult scene, or even a scene I'm just really passionate about, going to bed thinking it sounds awful, and then waking up the next day with fresh eyes, patting myself on the back because it's actually really good.
If you could give any advice for other would-be authors out there, what would you say to them?
The most important rule of any book written is to hold the reader's attention. That's it. Keep them reading, keep them guessing, make them want to turn the page, and never let them get bored with the story. I think it's important to have a plan, figure out where your characters are going to end up, but take them there in an interesting way. Don't get caught up in subplots unless necessary. Keep things moving forward, and create scenes that engage the reader. Make it relatable. Make the reader connect with the characters every step of the way. And above all, don't make the story predictable. Readers will stay with a story if it moves in a direction they aren't expecting. The one thing I will tell every self-published author is this: pay the money to get it professionally edited, and pay for a professional book cover design. It's worth every penny. A good book cover sells your book. An edited book will help your reviews and quality and feel of the story. Trust me on this. And lastly, I post writing mantras every week to my social media, and it's basically a series of quotes that keep me going as a writer. The main theme is to keep going and have faith in yourself. Don't compare yourself to others, and write your own truth, your own story. And at the end of the day, it's just you and the page, and there's nothing to be afraid of if you keep at it every day. Write your book and keep moving forward.
A big thank you goes out to Kristen for her willingness to participate in this month's author interview. Now, if you'd like to know more about Kristen and her work, the link to her author website is located in the description down below. You can also find her book, Behind the Glass, in paperback and ebook editions through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, and iBooks. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. If you have any questions or comments, please make sure to leave them in the comment section down below. If you find yourself in a position to do so, we'd love to have your support on patreon.com/GKJpublishing, where you'll find 3 different support tiers with some really awesome rewards to choose from. Don't forget to tune in every Monday to the Creators Corner podcast. This next episode will be focusing on quitting, why we quit as writers, why we shouldn't, and why we should. And I will also be piggybacking off of that in next week's vlog, so you will be getting a double dose of Quitting 101. The vlog of the 5 Kingdoms is filmed without the use of a live audience at Skyrocket Studios in Hanford, California. And we can't do what we do without your help, so support us by clicking the subscribe button that's above my head, and watch and share these other videos that are off to my left. Have a great and happy Easter weekend.